What's up, y'all? Aaron Mack, BS Detector. I'm back. I figured out my phone storage and I figured out how to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So now I have plenty of room and now I can sit here and read and read and read and read to you guys. And I'm so excited because we have got so much stuff to get through. And I feel like I'm finally free to be able to just sit down and read and disseminate all of this information to you guys. So, when I was last on here, we were reading from a book called The Tavistock Institute, Social Engineering the Masses by a guy named Daniel Eschelin. And also, I just want to say, everything said here is for, educational and commentary purposes. I'm claiming fair use here. So, I can't honestly remember, you guys, where we were at. I think we had started chapter 3. And I think I had read maybe the first paragraph of chapter 3. And then I don't recall if I got to the next paragraph. I think I did, but maybe it cut me off. I don't really remember. But I'm going to start, and here's a picture of Jackie O and JFK, which we know there was a ginormous psyop surrounding that whole situation, but I digress. I feel like nowadays we are just literally under constant psyop. We're under like a psyop surveillance state, just everything on the news is nothing but lies. It's upside down and backwards. It's untrue and totally the opposite of not just being untrue, but like the opposite of the truth. And then you also have, I literally just saw, I guess the channel is called We Woke Now or something like that. But it's another one of these, and no offense, but it's kind of giving like we was Kangs kind of thing, except it's more towards of the Old Testament, which kills me because everyone starts out like Christian and then it seems like these people really don't like Christianity because they think it's like the white man's religion or something, which is ridiculous. Because literally it says that there is no Jew or Greek. We are all one in Christ. So that basically means your race doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's your faith. It's your freaking faith. And that's what I keep coming back to again and again with some of the shorts that I do, like all these people lifting up the name of Yahweh. And this guy was literally, okay. So I don't know if no one's really watching my channel now. Hopefully that will change. But there was probably 30 or 40 people that watched my first video where it wasn't obviously my very first video, but the first video out of 2 that I did in reply to Truth Unedited, his channel. Because he did a video called something like Why I'm Leaving Christianity. And at that time, I was going through this whole revelatory process of finding out that all of our Bibles, even the King James, right, is derived from something called the Masoretic text. And the Masoretic text is basically the Leningrad Codex, I think is the first copy of that, right? And that, which is the Hebrew, okay? And but the Greek Septuagint is 1,000 years older than that. And it doesn't have the name Yahweh or Yahuwah or none of that in it, not one time. And now we have all these people like Ben Born Again, Israel Anderson, Bobby Collier, a lot of people that are realizing hey, this Yahweh character in one form or another is not only not the Most High, but it's looking like he's the devil. So, so then I'm watching this We Woke Now channel guy's video because he was doing a reply video to Truth Unedited. So I thought, oh, maybe somebody sees it, like how I'm seeing it. No, it was so that he could literally correct him on the pronunciation of the name of Yahweh. I'm like, what is Jesus? Like chopped liver or something? Literally Acts 4:12, I believe, is pretty clear when it says there is no other name under heaven by which we can be saved but Jesus. So and then you got, the K-Podgies on here who just started reading the Bible, but they're pretty sure we all have to follow Torah. Like, what even is this? What even is this? What is YouTube turning into? It's like, and I guess this guy on the We Woke Now channel seems pretty pro-black. I mean, which, hey, go ahead, do that if you want, but if I was to be pro-right, I'd be a fucking racist, right? So, like, what are we doing? But that's not even my point, because I don't believe in any of this bloodline bullshit. I think that all of the genealogies were destroyed in 70 AD, and there's no way of knowing who is who from what to what. So it's like, yes, and I've at least, though, these guys, okay, the Truth Unedited and the We Woke Now guy, they at least know that the Shemayanist state of Israel are not the people of the Old Testament. And I guess maybe they feel like they are, but even if so, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, because all of the prophecies that were prophesied then have all come to pass. Everything is already over and done with, and I'm fairly certain we're in like Revelation 20-ish area, where Jesus already returned, the millennial reign already happened. There's so much evidence for, and I want to start looking into Byzantium. I'm going to start getting some books on the Byzantine Empire, because I feel like, that might have been the kingdom, as it were, on earth. So anyways, that's my whole rant for the beginning of this video. Sorry, it took me almost 8 minutes to get into here, and by the time I quit yapping, it will be 8 minutes into the video. But like, I just wanted to share that, just how deep and crazy all of this Torah stuff and this Yahweh crap is becoming. It's like, he's not the Most High, and he's not Jesus' father. Pretty sure he's the devil, but whatever. Okay, so we are on the second paragraph of the chapter called Unaliving of the King. I'm going to say that because I don't want to get this taken down. But this is called Words We Use. It says, most people never remember the whole song, but snippets of a song, mostly the chorus that consists of catchy words or play on words. We hum the song along with the radio until we come to the part of the chorus where for a few brief lines we happily sing along with the artist, mindlessly repeating the words we memorized. Let's take a look at some songs. You will start to notice a pattern. And let me just remind you, like, what we're reading here is about the brainwashing strategies and techniques of the Tavistock Institute in Britain, and who that's controlled by, which is Shemayanists, okay? I'm trying to weave this thread for you guys to try to make it as obvious as possible, which I don't even need to, I feel like, for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people already know. So this is for the people that don't know. Like, there is a huge brainwash that has been put upon us, and every tentacle of pop culture, even church and the Bible, as you can see, as evidenced by my intro about Truth Unedited and We Woke Now channel, they are all a bunch of Yahwists who think that they are ancient Hebrews. Like, what? I mean, it's crazy to me that context and whatnot just goes right over people's heads. So anyways, okay, we are in a crowded auditorium. Lights go out and the camera zooms in on two individuals on stage, a white man with a red baseball hat and a foul-mouthed black man in a white beret. Quote, "What the fuck you talking about?" shouts the black man. The white man slowly walks across the stage, then pauses. Quote, "If I do come back, do you know what my new name is going to be?" Quote, end quote. He spits back to his friend. Quote, what's your name going to be, end quote, asked the man with the white beret with an in-your-face attitude. Quote, Rain Man, replies the white rapper, whose stage name is Eminem. There is a heavy drum roll, accompanied by piped-in music from somewhere above. Quote, put your hands in the air, end quote, shouts Eminem, gesticulating wildly at the audience, gone numb from the noise and the excitement of the moment. Quote, say Rain Man, shouts Eminem to the crowd. Rain Man! More than 50,000 people at Yankee Stadium in New York shout back, hands in the air, waving back and forth. Over the next 4 minutes, the words, quote, Rain Man are repeated over 40 times by the performers on stage and an equal number of times by the frenzied crowd. In between, the two men sing in unison. You find me offensive. I find you offensive for finding me offensive. I aim to be calm when I got to this level of fame, possessed by this devil by the name Rain Man. Later in Eminem's, quote, old time's sake song, he returns to the familiar theme. Speak of the devil as attack of the Rain Man, chainsaw in hand, bloodstain on my apron. In fact, Eminem is one of a large number of mainstream and highly popular performers who sing about someone called Rain Man. Others who use the same motif in their performances are Rihanna in her song Umbrella, where the words rain and umbrella appear in the chorus and throughout the song, accompanied by images of Rihanna and her dance troupe soaking wet with rain falling on their heads. Others, such as rapper Fat Joe featuring and Fat Joe Feet and his Make It Rain. Fat Joe Feet. No. It's just Fat Joe. What is F-E-A-T? I don't know what that means. Okay, his Make It Rain. Someone called Savage, featuring, I guess, Savage, and his Wild Out, Blackstone Cherry, and their popular rendition of Blind Man, and Jamie Foxx with his particular version of Rain Man. Is it a coincidence that so many mainstream artists sing songs about someone called Rain Man? Or is there more to it? Let's take a closer look at the words themselves. Fox sings to the following chorus. Release me, oh, 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 oh. Rain Man, Rain Man, Rain Man. Rappers, The Game, and their song, Cali Sunshine, or his song, Cali Sunshine, with more ass than delicious, that's my flower of love. We make it rain like Rain Man when we play with the glove. And then in Jay-Z featuring Usher and Pharrell's song Anything, we have amateur pole dancing. Come and get this cash from me. They call me Rain Man. She tried to rain dance. Rappers are not the only ones this typeset is kind of crazy a little bit. Rappers are not the only ones to use the term Rain Man in their lyrics. Heavy metal band Wasp and their song The Burning Man also mention it, and Bob Dylan, Stuck Inside of Mobile with Memphis Blues Again, that appears on his 1966 album Blonde on Blonde, he sings the following. Now the Rain Man gave me 2 cures. Then he said, jump right in. And again, I want to be your lover. Well, the Rain Man comes with his magic wand, and the judge says Mona can't have no bond. Hip-hop artist Ya Boy pays tribute to the Rain Man and hit his likewise titled track. Hey everybody, say Mr. Rain Man, can we have a rainy day? Bring an umbrella, please bring an umbrella. Ella, 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 eh. Former country music superstar Tanya Tucker also sings Up to the Rain Man in a track titled Lizzie and the Rain Man. But there was one named Lizzie Cooper who said he was a flying cheat. She said, you call yourself the Rain Man. Well, you ought to be ashamed. Then things get really interesting and very explicit and in your face. For example, listen to Jay-Z's Evils, or Jay-Z's Evils, Devils. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Secret society trying to keep their eye on me. I'd say that's fairly straightforward and obvious. And Tupac, who was killed in what is believed to have been an assassination. Well, we don't know about that, but I mean, unalived. Some say they expect Illuminati, take my body to sleep, NIGGAs at the party, and their shawty's just as rowdy as me. A superstar rapper, Fatboy Slim, also mentions them in his song titled Illuminati. Illuminati, a secret society, do exist. Illuminati, T, 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 T. And LL Cool J and I Shotcha. Illuminati want my mind and my body. Secret society trying to keep their eye on me. I swear, that's like the same thing as Jay-Z. And like, I feel like LL Cool J did his first, so I'm thinking Jay-Z ripped off LL Cool J. Allegedly, okay? Sorry, I had to take a sip of coffee. It's pretty early in the morning. Okay. Now, instead of reading these lyrics as a form of amusement, ask yourselves, what if they are singing this for real? What if someone is trying to tell you something in such an unbelievable Tavistockian way in your face where you could best see it? What if the people who are trying to tell you something are the very secret societies and brainwashing institutes who are trying to control the world from behind the scenes? Duh, they have to tell you. That's what this is. There's rules to it. And there's levels to it, okay? I'm pretty sure everybody at least knows that by now. Okay, so, and what if I told you that there is no, okay, hold on. Yes, okay. And what if I told you there is no such thing as coincidences in the world of spies and secret societies, in the world of smoke and mirrors, in the parallel universe where governments work their secret agenda from behind the curtain? Now read the next set of lyrics from Prodigy. The track is entitled Illuminati. And why do they all have so many? They all have a song called Illuminati. Like, this is crazy. And Prodigy is old. He's from like the 90s. It took me 33 years for me to see the truth. Ever so clear, I was too young. I couldn't articulate myself the right way. Son, but now let me break it down. Pass it all around. This is not a theory. The conspiracy is real. They want to put me in a straitjacket in a padded room and tell the world there's 12 monkeys so they can be confused. Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society trying to keep their eye on me. I feel like when they signed their record deals, like, this exact lyric was handed to them and said, you got to put this in a song. So why would all these allegedly uncouth rappers, country musicians, and rockers sing about something called the Illuminati, the New World Order, Rain Man, and Umbrella? In fact, it is becoming even more widespread and common. Listen to rapper Puff Daddy and Young G's. NIGGA's got that killed in the field and all the babies born. No, they ain't fully prepared for this New World Order. And it's not just lyrics that contain these references. Music videos are also full of occult symbolism, such as Ankh, which is the ancient Egyptian symbol for eternal life, the all-seeing eye of God, which we have seen. Now it's friggin' everywhere. It's literally everywhere. Pentacles and pyramids, not to mention the Masonic black and white checkered floor. We can imagine what a New World Order is, and we have heard of the Illuminati, thanks in part to Dan Brown's popular fiction. But who is this Rain Man? And, okay, so now we're starting a new section called Why in Plain Sight? You might be wondering why, if a conspiracy of silence to control the world truly exists, the supposed masters of the universe, instead of hiding it, elect to promote it through songs, videos, and Hollywood film. Because they know human psychology, bro. That's it. They know human psychology. Duh. Okay, the truth of the matter is that secret societies love to hide things in plain sight, and not only through videos and lyrics. What if I told you that the JFK assassination was a ritual slaying, what is known in the world of occult as, quote, the unaliving of the king, end quote? And what if they didn't even really unalive him? That's what I'm saying. What if I gave you enough evidence to show you that this is so, despite the official version of events, wherein we are told a lone assassin killed the president with a magic bullet? Yeah, and the same thing with this Charlie Kirk thing. Like, and the thing is like, I already know this game so well that as soon as I heard about the Charlie Kirk, like, I was on my way to work. I was in my car on my way to go work a bar shift at my old job, and BJ from BJ Investigates came on, and she was on a live, and because she was covering, I think, P. Diddy at that time, the trial. So she was like streaming live every day. And she came on, I was like basically listening to her live on her live stream on YouTube on my way to work. And she was like, oh my God, something about Charlie Kirk just got shot. And I literally thought to myself, no, he didn't. And I know this might sound totally disrespectful to someone who is totally brainwashed by the mainstream media, but you have to understand how the media is used. It is a tool to enter into your brain and to brainwash you, and you have to resist. You have to resist. Just because you see it on the TV doesn't make it real. In fact, 9 times out of 10 is probably not. And people act like, well, why would they go to this trouble to set this up and orchestrate it? I don't know. To control society. Because I feel like the whole Charlie Kirk thing, they were trying to foment and hijack, the Zionists were trying to hijack the actual real movement, and I think Charlie Kirk was probably obviously a plant, okay? He was, brought up for the purpose of, like, galvanizing the young, right-wing, Christian, conservative, especially males in America, because they're going to be the ones that are going to give these commies and these third world invaders a run for their money, right? So getting, like bringing up this character of Charlie Kirk, it made perfect sense to do that, to get everybody riled up and to get everybody following his talking points, because he did make a lot of sense. So then, he was starting to apparently question the narrative there with the God's chosen people. And I think, honestly, they probably bought him out. He's probably literally with Epstein somewhere, and they're having like pina coladas on a beach in Tel Aviv or something. Like, who even knows? You know what I mean? Allegedly. Because I even remember something where it said something about Valhalla. There's like a resort in like New Zealand or something called Valhalla. So when Kash Patel was like, see you in Valhalla, it's like, what a weird thing for somebody who is not a Viking or any kind of like Western European descent. He's Indian. You know what I mean? For him to say, see you in Valhalla, like, what a weird thing to say. I don't know. So the whole thing, I'm not here to like break down the whole thing with Charlie Kirk, but it's a great example of the playbook of the Tavistock Institute. And I guarantee you they were involved, or their people. I mean, this is Jayish, which is really Babylonian, occultic, mystic, satanic outcomes and magic. They're magicians. They're dark magicians. This is what they do. And part of magic is controlling the minds of people. Certain things don't have to actually happen. It can be a sleight of hand. As long as they've convinced you that it happened, then they can get you to act and behave in certain ways. Does that make sense now? Because we go back and we look at 9/11 and we see that didn't go down the way that they said either. And honestly, I don't know. I'm not going to say nobody was unalived, because it looked, but I don't know. Yeah, we've seen videos of people diving out of the building, but like, we saw the airplane too, and then we saw it being slowed down, and like, that was clearly photoshopped in or some kind of whatever. I don't know. And people said they didn't even see any planes. It was all on TV that we saw that. But people on the ground, nobody said they saw anything. they said they heard a loud noise. So anyways, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but like, just know that like, as far as the media is concerned and the controlling of your mind is concerned, there have been great efforts and cajillions probably of dollars to hijack your mind and to control it. And things such as this happen. So, to understand the Kennedy assassination and place it within the realm of Tavistock mind control, secret societies, one world conspiracy, and Nazi occult, you must open the doors of perception into a netherworld of the unknown by changing the way we look upon the details and the fantastic convergences of life. This is the way ancient men perceived the world. Quote, encompassing a vision that detects every link and every symbol, beginning with the significance of names, then places, necessarily including lines of latitude and longitude, and the divisions of degrees on geography and cartography, and then the obsessive actions which stem from the confluence of the two, and which have come to be known as ritual. End quote. I told you, they are dark magicians. All of these things are rituals. That is exactly what they are. Even this World Cup shit that just happened. Please pardon my French. I am a daughter of a sailor and I bartend for a living. Sometimes it just slips out. But yeah, like the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, ritual. And I actually did all of the rehearsals for the one in 96 in Atlanta, but I didn't go to the actual ritual itself. As I was out partying or something with my friends and I just didn't feel like going. And now I kind of feel like, that was slick. God looking out for me or something and like not letting me be a part of that ritual. Because what kind of a curse would I have brought on myself by being like actual in with all the energy and all the whole world watching? And because it's like an energy harvesting ritual. There's like curses and stuff. So yes, this stuff is real. It's not just real, it's pervasive. It's everywhere. It's all day, every day. Symbolism and other types of references can be flagrant and subconsciously picked up, but on a conscious level will not be seen by the naked eye. In films and videos, this type of subliminal messaging is achieved using scenes that contain brief flashes of light and dark and quickly alternating video frames. They've been doing that since TV first began. At times, the symbolism is blatantly clear and easily identifiable, but because the meaning or references behind it are unknown to most people, the brain simply filters it out as insignificant and meaningless. However, none of it is meaningless. You'll be shocked to see how nothing was left to chance in the JFK assassination, despite the apparent scenes of chaos and disconnect. And it seems the same with this whole CK shooting too. Like the people wandering around on their cell phones and just, the dude getting up and taking the background camera down. Like, what was that about? Like, there's always more going on, and it's always all totally scripted. It may seem like chaos, but I guarantee you, Craigslist has put on so many ads for crisis actors. They use actors in these scenarios. Like the dad of Robbie Parker, or maybe that was his name, for Sandy Hook, bro. Like, come on. Anyways, allegedly, because they just sued the crap out of Alex Jones for that. But like, we all know, bro, if you've seen We Need to Talk About Sandy Hook, we all know, okay? And if you haven't seen it, go over to BitChute and check it out. Anyways, in penetrating the secrets of secret societies and symbols, it would be helpful to consider a dictum of Einsteinian physics, right? James Shelby Downward and Michael A. Hoffman II. Quote, Time relations among events are assumed to be first constituted by the specific physical relations obtaining between them, end quote. Secret societies, Masonic lodges, cults, and spooks use secret symbols to show their affiliation. The eternal pagan psychodrama is escalated under those quote-unquote modern conditions precisely because sorcery is not what 20th century man can accept as real. But it's very real. In their underground bestseller, quote, King Kill 33, end quote, James Shelby Downward and Michael A. Hoffman II explain the mechanics of the assassination. Quote, keep in mind that the ultimate purpose of John Fitzgerald Kennedy's assassination was not political or economic, but sorcerous, for the control of the dreaming mind and the marshaling of its forces and the omnipotent force in this entire scenario of lies, cruelty, and degradation. Remember that once you spread the deadly virus, the disease will do the rest. Something died in the American people on November 22nd, 1963. Call it idealism, innocence, or the quest for moral excellence. It is the transformation of human beings, which is the authentic reason and motive for the Kennedy unaliving. And that is facts. I remember my grandmother. She loved Kennedy. She loved him. And she would talk about it. I mean, like, she was just still years later. I mean, when did it happen? In 1963. So that was 15 years before I was born. So, I mean, you know, but I can remember being a little kid and remember my grandma just being, my mom's mom, being utterly devastated by that. And then my uncle, the conspiracy realist that he was, we'd sit down in the basement and he'd be like, I don't think he's really, or he would, you know, say something about Jack Ruby, or who was the other guy? I can't even remember. Hold on, let me get my vape. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I remember my uncle, the one who told me we didn't go to the moon and who told me it's the Jays, pretty much. I wouldn't be who I am today without him. And I know I've said that in at least one of my other videos. But anyways. So, okay. The more one studies mind control, secret societies, and the occult, quote, the more one understands the subtlety and hidden symbolism, the so-called science of names, word wizardry behind the scenes of Kennedy assassination, the JFK machination, encounters this science in a decisive way and contains a veritable nightmare of symbol complexes, not simple, symbol complexes having to do with violence, perversion, conspiracy, death, and degradation, end quote. Let's take a closer look. And I just wanted to stop right there and say that this, where it says science of names, I find that very interesting because Been Born Again calls all this Hebrew language stuff the magical Hebrew name game or something like that. And I actually find that to be very interesting because that's exactly what's going on here. And I think, honestly, that the Old Testament, if you're not reading like the Greek Septuagint, I kind of feel like the Masoretic text has been absolutely meddled with to the point where it's not even like the Bible anymore. I mean, and think about how many people out here think that Yahweh is their most high God and that he is the father of Jesus. It's just absolutely wild. Anyways, okay. The Unaliving of the King. James Shelby Downward's underground classic, Sorcery, Sex, Assassination, and the Science of Symbolism, links American historical events with a grand occult plan of secret societies. His investigative work on the startling links within the Kennedy machination has remained unmatched long after his death. Downwards writes, and I'll have to get this book and maybe we can read that. Quote, President Kennedy and his wife left the Temple Houston and were met at midnight by tireless crowds present to cheer the virile, quote, sun god and his dazzlingly erotic wife, quote, the Queen of Love and Beauty in Fort Worth. On the morning of November 22nd, they flew to Gate 28 at Love Field, Dallas, Texas. The number 28 is one of the correspondences of Solomon in the Kabbalistic numerology. The Solomonic name assigned to 28 is Beal. On the 28th degree of latitude in the state of Texas is the site of what was once a giant, quote, Kennedy Ranch. On the 28th degree is also Cape Canaveral, from which the moon flight was launched. Moon flight, right? Made possible not only by the president's various feats, but by his death as well, for the placing of the Freemasons on the moon could occur only after the unaliving of the king, which we didn't even do the moon thing, like nobody even went. The 28th degree of Templarism is, quote, King of the Sun degree, end quote. The president and first lady arrived in Air Force One, codenamed Angel. Quote, the motorcade proceeded from Love Field to Dealey Plaza. Dealey Plaza is the site of the Masonic Temple in Dallas, now razed, and there is a marker attesting to this fact in the plaza. Quote, important protective strategy for Dealey Plaza was planned by the New Orleans CIA station, whose headquarters were a Masonic temple building in Dallas, Texas, and is located 10 miles north of the 33rd degree of latitude. The 33rd degree is the highest in Freemasonry and the founding lodge of the Scottish Rite in America, and was created in Charleston, South Carolina, exactly on the 33rd degree line. You see? All of this stuff, and that's why these people get on YouTube and do the, what's it called? Now I can't even think of the word, but where they like count the numbers or whatever. Anyways, I'll think of it eventually, and if I don't, y'all know what I'm talking about. Dealey Plaza is close to the Trinity River, which before the introduction of flood control measures submerged the place regularly. Dealey Plaza therefore symbolizes both the trident and its bearer, the water god Neptune. To this trident Neptune site came the Queen of Love and Beauty, and her spouse, the scapegoat, in the unaliving of the king Right, and the Shanadoc, which is a Gaelic word for ugly head or wounded head. Wow. Now get this. The, quote, queen is Jackie, and the Shanadoc is the Gaelic form of Kennedy. In Scotland, the Kennedy coat of arms and iconography is full of folklore. Their plant badge is an oak, and their chest has a dolphin on it. Now, what could be more coincidental than for JFK to get shot in the head near the oak tree at Dealey Plaza? Do you call that a coincidence? At 12:22 p.m., the motorcade proceeded down Main Street toward the Triple Underpass, traveling first down Elm Street. The latter was the scene of numerous gunfights, stabbings, and other violence, and it is the location of the Majestic Theater, the Pawn Shop Negro District, and Industrial District. See, and this is why, if it was all planned like this, he ain't dead neither. And there's some people that have said that he just turned into the guy that was the president when I was born. Oh God, what was his name? Jimmy Carter. Because you know that fittest flat earther guy, the really annoying one that literally tries to say this person is this other person, and he really goes way out there. Well, somebody did a comparison like that, because the fittest flat earther guy is not the first person to compare people, moles, teeth, earlobes, stuff like that. And somebody did it with JFK and Jimmy Carter. So they think that like Kennedy just turned into Jimmy Carter and played that role, which is weird. And they had to both exist at the same time. But I do know that like all these people are, if they're in a secret society, they're all actors playing a role on the world stage. And that's facts. Okay. Gematria. That's what it is. Gematria. That's how they code and like you know, really hide the numerology. Gematria is basically the numerology of all this stuff, which they clearly rely heavily on to tell each other and their little secret societies of what they're doing and what this was a ritual for, and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And these are ancient rites. Okay? It is a prime tenet of Masonry. Oh, wait, hold on. Elm, Maine, and Commerce form a trident pattern in alignment with the triple underpass, as any Dallas map will show. Many analysts contend that at least 3 assassins were involved on the crossfire ambush of Kennedy. Yeah, see how? Or maybe they just faked it. I don't know. No offense, R.I.P. and all that shit. It is a prime tenet of Masonry that its assassins come in 3s. Masonic assassins are known in the code of the lodge as the, quote, unworthy craftsman. Hiram Abiff, architect of Solomon's Temple and mythic progenitor of Freemasonry, was murdered, according to Masonic legend, by 3 unworthy craftsmen, because Masonry is obsessed with earth as game board, tessellation, thus the checkered Masonic floor, and the ancillary alignments necessary to facilitate the game. It is inordinately concerned with railroads and railroad personnel to the extent that outside of lawyers and circus performers, no other vocation has a higher percentage of Masons than railroad workers. I did not know that. And you know why? It's because the railroad workers know that it's flat, baby. They know it's flat. They know it's flat. And that's a secret that has got to be kept. And see, that's why I'm like, why don't the pilots? Because I know a lot of pilots, they know it's flat. So, anyways, minutes after John Fitzgerald Kennedy was murdered, 3 hobos, unworthy craftsmen, were arrested at the rail yard behind Dealey Plaza. Quote, no records of their identities have ever been revealed, nor the identity of the arresting officer. You see, it's all pretend. These are all patsies. They're all made up scenarios, characters. Like, I don't believe any of this shit actually really happened for real, for real. I think it's theater, Masonic theater. That's what it is. Okay. All that remains of those few minutes are a series of photographs, a ritual accompaniment of the Black Mass that was the ceremonial immolation of a king, the unmistakable calling card of Masonic schmurder, and the appearance of Jubella, Jubello, and Jubellum, the 3 unworthy craftsmen that will not be blamed for nothing. This ritual symbolism is necessary for the accomplishment of the alchemical intention of the unaliving of the King of Camelot. So it's all going back to, the world is a stage and all the players merely whatever, or all the people merely Shakespearean shit, Dealey Plaza breaks down symbolically in this manner. D-E-A, means goddess in Latin, and ley can pertain to the law or rule in the Spanish, or lines of preternatural geographic significance in the pre-Christian nature religions of the English, so the pagans. Quote, the systematic arrangement and pattern of symbolic things having to do with the killing of Kennedy indicates that he was a scapegoat and a sacrifice. The purpose of such macabre ritualism is further recognizable in patterns of symbolism culminating in the final, quote, making manifest all that is hidden. Lee Harvey Oswald. And actually, I think I'm going to stop right here and then upload this and then delete it and then upload another. Got to keep... that was my problem, was I had deleted so much stuff to make room, but then I didn't go and delete the trash can. So it just had all these deleted things in it. My phone started glitching out. So I had just asked ChatGPT to tell me how to fix it. And it did. So anyways, all right, I'm going to stop there. And then we're going to pick up on the next chapter at Lee Harvey Oswald. I hope you guys are finding this reading interesting. I definitely am. All right. See ya in a few. Mwah.